There's a voice that lives inside you, a whisper that once roared when you were young. But over the years, the world trained you to silence it. It taught you that dreaming big was dangerous, that stepping out of line made you a threat, that your potential was fixed, your fate already sealed, and you believed it. Because it came dressed in authority, in comfort, in routine, in the hypnotic lull of normal. But today, that lie dies. Because today marks the end of the illusion and the beginning of your becoming. Welcome to the journey. The real one. The one beneath the masks. The one you've avoided with distractions, dopamine, and denial. Let me be blunt. You were not put here to survive. You were not put here to comply. You were not put here to rot in a routine. You were put here to rise. And everything you've been through, every failure, every betrayal, every dark night, was not punishment. It was preparation. Because what lives inside you, what sleeps in your chest, is not weak. It is not small. It is not broken. It is dormant. And now, it's time to wake it up. The illusion of limitations. Let's begin by ripping the mask off the first enemy, limitation. Every society, every culture, every system has tried to convince you that you are a box with walls, that your intelligence is set, that your talents are capped, that your future is a repeat of your past. They handed you a false ceiling and told you to call it reality. But tell me this. Who decided your limits? Who drew that line in the sand and said, "This is as far as you go"? Was it a teacher? A parent? A boss? Or was it your own voice after too many failures? Understand this. Limits are learned. You were not born thinking you were broken. You were taught to believe it. But belief is not fact. Perception is not truth. And fear is not prophecy. You are not a product of circumstance. You are a product of your decision to keep accepting the lies. And today, that decision is revoked. Reframing the mindset. This is the next crucible, your mindset. You've whispered, "I can't." So often it became a lullaby. You've stared at your dreams through a lens of doubt. But doubt is not the problem. The problem is passivity, the absence of challenge, the absence of curiosity, the refusal to ask a better question. Not can I, but how can I? That shift, so small, so subtle, is the moment the mind begins to wake up. Because when you ask how, you invite action. When you ask how, you activate power. When you ask how, you become the sculptor, not the statue. The world trains you to look for limits, but warriors train to find angles. From this day forward, question every cage. Burn every mental blueprint that tells you to shrink. Because nothing outside of you can hold you back. Stronger than the belief, you can't break free. Cultivating self-awareness. Now we go deeper, into the mirror. There is no transformation without self-awareness. And yet most people avoid it like fire. They'd rather numb than reflect, scroll than journal, lie to themselves than stare into their own shadows. But if you want to change your life, you must know who is living it. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What do you run from? What values make you feel alive? What dreams make you ache? Know these. Study yourself like a battlefield general reading the terrain, because this is your arena, and self-awareness is your map. You don't fight well blindfolded, so stop pretending that ignorance is innocence. The day you become radically honest with yourself is the day you stop being controlled by invisible chains. The power of discipline. Now we arrive at the weapon itself, discipline. Discipline is not sexy. It doesn't trend. It doesn't hand out participation trophies. But it is the one force that separates legends from leftovers. Discipline is doing the hard thing when no one claps. It is returning to the task after you've failed. It is showing up for your goals when your feelings scream, "Not today." Understand this. Success is not some random explosion. It is a quiet accumulation of choices made when no one is watching. Read the book. Write the page. Lift the weight. Build the plan. Speak the truth. Every act of discipline is a brick in the fortress of your future. And the best part? No one can take it from you. Because the world can steal your job, your followers, even your reputation. But discipline is yours. It cannot be outsourced. It cannot be hacked. It is earned, and it is undeniable. You are the catalyst. You don't need a new government. You don't need a savior. You don't need more time. You don't need permission. You need to stop waiting. Stop hesitating. Stop flirting with greatness and start marrying the process. Let others chase dopamine. Let others complain about the system. Let others beg for guarantees. You build. You bleed. You become. Because you've realized the greatest truth of all. You are the miracle. You are the solution. You are the storm. You are the blade, waiting to be sharpened. So now I ask you, will you keep chasing comfort, or will you chase clarity? Will you keep running from effort, or will you rise into excellence? Will you keep saying someday, or will you whisper now and move? This is the death of the old you, the one who slept through potential, the one who asked for signs while ignoring their own reflection. Now is the time to reclaim your fire, to reframe your mindset, to rewire your habits, to resurrect your identity from the ashes of who you used to be. This is the beginning, not of a chapter, of a conquest. One brick at a time, one decision at a time, one disciplined act at a time. You are no longer the person who waits. You are the one who builds, the one who discovers, the one who becomes. And the world will not hand you the crown. You must forge it. With blood, with truth, with relentless self-discipline. The illusion is gone. The mindset is shifting. The awareness has been born. There is a truth most people will never face. A truth so simple, so brutal, it hides in plain sight. Your life is exactly what you've tolerated, not what you've dreamed of, not what you've wished for, not what you cried about when no one was watching. It is what you've allowed, what you've chosen, what you've done. That's why goal setting, real goal setting, isn't for the faint of heart. Because the moment you set a real goal, the moment you define what you truly want, you declare war, not on others, on who you've been. Most people don't set real goals. They set wishes. They scribble hopes on paper and call them plans. They fantasize about a different life while repeating the same behavior. They're not dreaming. They're lying. Because a real goal, one that matters, demands a different version of you. It demands sacrifice. It demands focus. It demands discipline, endurance, and execution. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. So if your systems are weak, if your daily structure is built on convenience, procrastination, and excuses, then your goals are already dead. So how do you build the life you say you want? Step 1, define your aspirations. Not vague hopes, not what society told you to want. Your true calling, what ignites your blood, what keeps you awake at night, what pulls at your soul like gravity. Write it down. Be ruthless. Be raw. Be real. And don't you dare edit yourself to sound reasonable. Reasonable goals build reasonable lives. And if you're still listening, I know you're not here for reasonable. You're here for transformation, for legacy, for domination. And that requires clarity. Because if you don't know exactly where you're going, you'll never get there. Step 2. Break it down. You don't climb a mountain by staring at the peak. You climb it one brutal, breath-stealing step at a time. You must carve your dream into targets, milestones, non-negotiable actions. What does it take? What do you need to learn? What habits must be created, and which ones must be killed? This is not fantasy. This is strategy. And strategy without structure is just chaos in a nice suit. So build the structure. Break your vision into monthly goals, weekly goals, daily disciplines, and then ask yourself, can I bleed for this daily, even when no one cares? Because that's what separates warriors from wanderers. Transformation doesn't come with fireworks. It doesn't arrive with fanfare. It doesn't knock politely on your door and ask if you're ready. No, it grows in silence, in the dark, in the shadows of your routines, in the choices you repeat when nobody's watching. And that's the first truth they never told you. You don't become powerful through one heroic decision. You become powerful through daily discipline, through habits, the science of habit formation. Let me be clear. You will never rise above the systems you live inside. If your habits are weak, your future will be weaker. That's not opinion. That's science. That's reality. Your brain is a pattern machine. It doesn't care what you say you want. It only reinforces what you repeatedly do. So if you want to change your life, don't start with motivation. Start with ritual. What are you doing at 6 a.m.? What's the first thing your hands touch in the morning? What do you reach for when you're stressed? Books or vices? These are not random behaviors. They are votes. Votes for the person you are becoming. Every small act of discipline, every page read, every workout completed, every temptation resisted, is a chisel stroke against the stone of weakness. At first, it looks like nothing. The mirror doesn't change. Your bank account doesn't move. The world stays silent. But keep going. Day after day. Cut after cut. And one day, you'll look up and see what others cannot. You've become something they said was impossible. Why? Because you understood this. Small is powerful when it's repeated. The compound effect is real. You don't build strength in a week. You build it by hammering away when no one else has the patience. You don't achieve greatness with one sprint. You grind through the mud with habits that refuse to die. And every day you execute, you're laying bricks, not for a house, but for a fortress, building a supportive environment. Now let's talk about the battlefield you train in, because even the strongest warrior falls if they train in poison. Environment is everything. You cannot rise in a pit of people who have no hunger. You cannot build greatness while surrounded by decay. You cannot grow while constantly explaining your growth to those who've chosen to stay small. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Comfort addicts, excuse makers, jealous souls who clap when you fail and laugh when you try. Cut them off, not out of hate, but out of honor, for yourself and your future. You are not obligated to drown just because you were born among those who fear the ocean. You must choose your circle like your life depends on it. Because it does. You want to grow? Find a community that forces you to level up, where excellence is the standard, where truth is spoken raw, where mediocrity is a foreign language. And if you can't find that community, build it. Be the first flame. Be the one who raises the bar. Be the one who makes laziness uncomfortable just by existing. Because proximity is power. Surround yourself with fire, and you will burn brighter. To those who've walked with us before, the ones who've faced their demons, who've bled through their excuses, who've chosen discipline over delusion, thank you. You are the backbone of this movement. You are the proof that transformation is real. You are what happens when warriors stop hiding and start building. You didn't just survive, you evolved. And now, your fire lights the way for others. To those just finding us, welcome to the war. This isn't just motivation. It's a rebellion against mediocrity, a brotherhood, a sisterhood, a legion of the relentless. We are the black sheep, the outliers, the ones who refuse to kneel. We don't wait for miracles. We become them. So if you're ready to stop scrolling and start shaping your legacy, if you're done pretending and ready to become, subscribe, lock in, join the GrimFace movement. We're just getting started, and the world won't be ready for what's coming. Stand tall, stay disciplined, stay dangerous. We'll see you in the next chapter.